audio is good. Welcome everybody, let's get everyone settled in before we start. Now 4 viewers. Let's get everyone in here and we'll start. Six, 8 viewers. Welcome everybody. Welcome back to the second weekly Billions Live podcast. Today we're going to take a look at the gains that we saw in the past few minutes of the market. We're going to take a look at some crypto today. We're going to take some Forex. Welcome Big Cat TV. Hopefully this time it's working better. What's up, Justin? Doing great. Didn't do any stocks today, but that's alright. Yeah, I set up the music so it's a bit less quiet in the background. Last time it was pretty quiet. First of all, since last week, let's see, where do we leave off? I left you guys around here. We started a new segment here. Bitcoin's opened up, let's see, $300 in the past 2 days. I left you guys with this. Whoever bought this dip, congratulations. That was a nice. Actually, even shorting that. Should I do this daily? Is the question, yeah. Because, you know, if it's just me, it's not much to talk about for a whole hour. But I'm actually in the voice chat at the bottom. If you want to come say anything, go voice some opinions, ask any questions, you can go down there and say hello. As of now, Bitcoin we're seeing 7,600 or 7,061. It's pretty small. On a 3-month time frame, that's about around half of the peak. See, 10,000. We're not gonna see that anytime soon. Let's also draw on the halvening is around. Let's see. Bitcoin halvening. How many days are left? May 11th. 24 days. So in 24 days we're gonna see a nice spike upwards. Maybe we'll see 10,000. Let's draw a retracement. Because I also like my 618 levels. I'm not gonna include that. And we can see we're actually bouncing off the 0.5 right now. What's my tag in Discord? Oh, Nomad's right there too. Here, I'll talk an options deck. Okay. What software am I using to show all this? Okay, so this is TradingView, and I've got a live chat at the bottom. Let's take a look, see if that's working. Let's move this back down. Alright, so on the right side, I'm gonna have some top gainers and top losers. This is mostly S&P 500. And at the bottom, I've got some market movers as well. We've got a nice chat box here just to see what you guys are saying. And in the top left, I have a TradingView widget that'll show you the top indices today, and I have my main monitor as well. Alright, I see Nomads in the voice chat. If you want to say anything, you can unmute yourself if you'd like. I'm answering questions as well. Got Justin here now. Hello, Justin. Sphinx is here as well. Alright. So, let's take a look at what we saw today on Triple Q. So, let's redraw this a bit more accurately. So today we saw this descending triangle. Not very accurate. Let's draw a bit more like, no, that's fine. So that shows us we saw this. What is the best folder to follow for winning stock? Not options or video. Forgot profit. Well, that's not an easy question. You can't really just magically find a kind of folder of stocks, a portfolio. What you would do, generally, if you'd like to hold something long term, around a month or so, is any ETF. Actually, doesn't go like that. So here's an example. SPY. This mirrors the S&P 500. And what this does is, you'll notice that the SPY is following a tenth of the price of the S&P 500. So when this does 287, we're seeing closely 287 here. Except this is 2,870. This looks good, but volume is low. Nothing I can do much about that. You just turn everything up if you'd like. The music is supposed to be quiet though. How do you translate option picks to regular stock trade picks? Well, you see someone saying, so let's look at billions alerts. Someone's stock today's last alert was Tesla 730 put expires 417 buy under $2. So what he's saying here is, let's look at Tesla. When he said that at 10:48 a.m. So let's go back. 10:48 right here. and then at this level. So Tesla traded at 754, and basically what he's saying is that Stock Daddy said that it's gonna hit, or he's hoping for it to hit 730, which is down here. And that's the way he's saying that he wants people to buy at a different price than what it actually is trading at. So on 417, which is actually today, so by the end of today, he wants people to have an option to buy it for 730. Wait, is that a put? Stop loss 759. So yeah, basically it's a good idea to always place a stop loss. So 759 is around here, and at that point that's where you want to cancel.
Yo.
Yeah, hello.
Hi.
Hey. He just left. Okay. Best indicators for trends. What I usually use. Let's go to like Snap. I'm longing Snap right now because I'm hoping that their earnings report tomorrow is gonna bring some good news for me. So what I'll usually do, let's find a better example. Something more. Actually, let's do Roku. So, for example, we have a support channel, resistance channel that we see right now. And what we want to look is for the confirmation for an entry point. We're going to say, so let's say that it broke this way. Okay, if we see a confirmed trade here, if you want to confirm the trade, we're going to look at the MACD, and that's going to say, so this is the resistance. This is the resistance up here, and as it's getting closer to the resistance, it's going to start dropping back down. Now, if it doesn't, and say as it gets closer to the support, which is here, I want to see this momentum. I usually use the green bars, and that kind of dictates how strong the momentum is. And this top middle bar, you can see the price, the colors actually change from like a dark green to a light green. You can also use this RSI, or I'm blanking here, what's it called? The moving average. So this uses a 16 or 12 and 26 moving average, and when those cross, it's also a good indicator. But what I usually use is these bars, and what people tend to do is they actually look for just the red and the green, but really what you want to do is you want to find from this peak to this peak, and that's going to show you a more accurate movement. So when you're looking here, you want to see strong momentum, and usually what I do is when these cross over and the green bars go to the 0, and you see they switch direction, you want to see and follow that momentum and see that it's going strongly. So here's strong momentum, another one, and another one. Here's some strong bearish momentum. The S&P overbought currently. Does it look like a pullback might happen next week? So the S&P 500 is usually more stable, and when the S&P 500 falls, that's a good indicator that the entire market is falling. So it's harder to predict where it might go, but let's do 1 hour. I've got arrows all over here because this is me buying and selling. But if we did see a pullback, I always do this. I always look for, actually I did this the wrong way. I look for the top to the bottom. 0.618 is this box, so let's draw a box from here to here. Right, and we can now delete this. Now this will really just extend as far as it'll need to be, but it'll keep going this way until we see an actual pullback, and that's when you can expect to hit this level of support. It's also a good place to buy, because usually when you see a pullback, it doesn't always go back to the 100% region, which is this. But you can see that it's kind of accurate, because when we close this, we don't need this anymore. And we draw the same pattern. We can see that we are actually in the 0.5 to 0.618 region. So this is actually a good time to short, because if we're seeing that the virus is getting worse, then we're probably going to see a downtrend from here, possibly even worse. People are saying that we've bottomed out. I don't think we've bottomed out yet, but the Guildlead virus treatment is actually seeming to work, so we'll find out. When do you like to make your option plays? I don't do options. It's not for me. It's too risky. We can ask Sphinx, I guess. Sphinx, if you want to talk, go ahead. Got some people in the chat. Penguin bot here. Yeah. Andrew here. Okay, so we're seeing some familiar faces. Do I buy options on Fridays? Again, I don't buy options, but usually I wouldn't buy options on Fridays just because of the... You're gonna have to rely a lot on futures over the weekend to see where the price is moving. Okay, do you have any questions here? If you guys have any questions, make sure to type them out. I'm reading all of them. I have it on my second monitor. Let's get options stuck in here. So let's check Guildlead. Wow. So I actually had an entry here in February that I let go of because I wasn't actually quite sure. It's around here. So I actually entered here, and I sold around here.
Sorry, Maple.
Yeah.
I was on mute. What was the question?
Some guy said, do you buy options on Fridays, and when do you like to make your option plays? There's a bit of delay from the stream, so I'm just gonna talk right here and then mute myself again. I think you're gonna hear it now. It takes 7 seconds. Can you explain the use of Fibonacci levels? So, I think Apple calls are wise. Alright, let's do first question. Fibonacci levels are actually really important because you might think they're kind of a scam, but really we see them in nature all the time, and humans kind of have a tendency to envision that it's kind of in our blood. And what we'll see here is that when we draw a retracement,
Really all depends whether it's a scalp trade versus a swing, and there are many different indicators or technical analysis things that you may look at.
yeah, okay, so that answers that question. Let's see. I think Apple calls are wise. That's another question for Sphinx. Sphinx, what do you think of that? Apple calls. How old are you? How long have you been trading? I'm 15, and I've been trading for a couple months now, since around January. And then I did that a year ago too, but I wasn't as into it. I was just kind of investing more than trading. But now I'm starting to trade a lot more. So Fibonacci levels, we'll see here that someone who, say they want to short at this point, or they bought here.
I think Apple calls are great.
Alright. Yeah, Apple calls are... Apple's not that volatile, but they're pretty expensive. So, I mean, if you have the money, and you're not looking for that high of a risk reward, then go for it. But what we'll see here is that in this zone, and I always use 0.5 and 0.618 because that's really the golden levels. 0.618 is, there's a lot of math behind it. I'm not going to go into that, but this is the golden number. And 0.5 is also a golden number just because it's halfway. So when we're tracing here, you'll see that the price action will move down, it'll bounce up, and then it'll kind of stay in this channel, but it will never drop the low 0.618, and when it does, that's signaling a reversal, and that's gonna drop even further usually. Let's see, do we have any more questions? We don't. How many viewers do we have? We actually have 26 viewers, great. So at this point, let's see. I'm gonna ask Romus if he has anything to say. What will we look at? Gold again. Would you recommend any trading books? There's actually one on Amazon that I've bought before. Trading for beginners. This book. It's $10. I got it on my Kindle. Now Kindle edition is free, so if you want that, if you have a Kindle or a Kobo or anything. How much did you initially lose trading before you became profitable? Since I'm doing paper trading mostly, I'm not old enough to do real trading. Right now this is my day trading account, and I'm only up 4K. And then I'm in a different platform that I'm using for my long-term investing. And on that I had to wait 2 months. I never sold because I don't do stop losses if I'm paper trading. There's really no reason for that. IRL, you would want to use a stop loss always, but it took me 2 months to get out of ExxonMobil when I bought. At this point, I still have the writing down. So I bought actually here, and I didn't want to sell, and it closed at 40.50. So I thought, okay, it's gonna open higher, it's gonna gap up, and I was wrong. And for the next, wait, this is what am I long? Looking at? I don't even know what I'm looking at. There we go. So it closed just above $40, and I thought it would be fine. And then the next day it opened much below $40, 37, and they got worse and worse. And it took me until April 2nd to break even. Neeraj, how do you learn about these technicals? What's a big way to step on a game on technicals? So practice is number one, and there's this trading 212 YT. These guys are great. These guys are the best at teaching. You know, when the dude has a British accent and he has a 10-minute video explaining how to do something, that's how you know it's legit. And this guy, let's see,
skip this ad.
Beginner guide to the RSI indicator. So here's a detailed explanation how to use RSI when it's overbought, when it's oversold. And I just watched lots of these. I watched proper traders, you know, doing what they do best. And practice, you know, so just looking at it, applying your own thoughts and seeing if they work. And then if you do, you know, it wipes my orders. You know, here's all my orders. And none of these have lasted longer than a day, but they're just based on me going in and saying, okay, I'm thinking, you know, based on this, how could I have predicted this? So I would probably just look here. First of all, I draw this as a proper support level. And now I see this downtrend, so you can see clearly going down. And then at this point, you know, I would maybe use MACD. And I'd wait until I see a confirmation that now it's reversing. And now the price is going up. At this point, we should see a pullback, right? And we didn't. It didn't go into the red and didn't go in negative. So it's going to still climb up, which means, you know, this is a good time to buy at this bottom level. Once you see the next one has risen above, it's a good indicator that the price is rising. And it still goes up. And I know if you bought, say, at this level 283 to 286, that's a good almost 1%. No, 1%, 1.2% ish. let's see. Let's keep questions coming. If you guys have any words. Let's. Alright, so if anyone wants to say anything right now, I'm open for time. We've still got around half an hour left. Are able to get the invite link in the description changed to /billions. That's, well, I mean, Tristan, you're on the Billions team. Make it happen. Do your magic. But I've done that for my own server, so it shouldn't be that hard. I think you just go to discord.gg and then you find like these server options. Let's go in depth real quick. Let me show you guys something. Here's a Forex application. Forex is really good if you know how to do any TA. So just like this, this is 1 hour time frame, so you'll see that I did stick on this MACD pattern, and I don't use just the red segments, I use the peaks. So when you're using this peak and you see, okay, now at this point, you can closely see that it's actually reversing, and most people would buy in here. So if you buy here and you sell here, where these price points cross over, what other indicators are important? I'll show you some more later, but let me finish this. What you want to look at more is this. So if you bought here 1.24, and let's see the close digits, 0.57 here, you could even get to 1.25 and 1.255, so that's a few pips right there, easy. Oh, you can't change the stream description. Okay, I'll change that real quick. So is it just discord.gg/billions, right? Yeah, okay. I'll mod you. Add moderator. There you go. Now you should be able to change it. So, let's see. Fib retracements aren't really an indicator, but MACD, RSI are the ones I usually use. Here's another one. Bollinger Bands. And what these do is they measure volatility. So, let's find a good example again. Alphabet. I don't really like Alphabet actually because they're traded way too low volume. Tesla. So what you'll notice is that they actually bounce between these channels. When do you swing trades? Well, let's explain this and you'll see. So here's an example. When we have the Bollinger Bands on, and what these do, you can edit these if you want. They just have a 20 SMA, which can be edited. And then these are offsets that you can change for however you like them, but just on the default settings, you'll see that they bounce between these channels. And we have also this moving average that tells us when we can see a price reversal. So see, at this point, after this downtrend, it crossed the 20 SMA, and for a brief period, you know, it was below, but after that we saw a uptrend from 349 to almost 600 at 551. So, you know, it's Tesla, it's volatile, but still this is going to help you, you know, saying, okay, so this has opened up now. At this point, we can see it's much more volatile than, say, in this small channel. When this channel is wide compared to this thin channel, that's showing volatility. So at any point in this time, it could have dropped down. So that's a good indicator. You know, if you're combining it with this MACD, sometimes you just get overloaded, and that's why you always just remove indicators and you look at price action, and that's all you need. Sometimes all you need is price action. Let's see. Here's a wedge pattern, another one that I use a lot. I don't usually count these because they're too far out, and it really marks more volatility than actual support. So if we just draw like this, there we go, and we can see that actually this one doesn't do anything. Just a breakout up, and it was a false breakout, so nothing much there. Let's find a better example. I use this on Roku. Oh, here's a good platform. Okay. So what you do, you grab this fib channel and just draw one. By default, it looks like this. Okay, I'm about to bless you guys with some info right here. Yeah, this is kind of what I use for swing trading. So, I go to settings here. I disable all of these. Actually, I'll leave 0. I can edit this to 0.25. And I put this to 0.75. And then at this point, we just have like a parallel lines channel. And then what I'll do is I'll make this background a bit lighter so you can see. And I'll extend left and right. And boom, now we have quarters. And this works kind of in the same way that a pitchfork does. So if we draw this, and then draw this line right here, now we have a channel that kind of shows us support and resistance levels, and they also show us different levels. So at this point we can see 0.5 is the current support. It kind of breaks that and then drops down, and then at this point when it breaks the channel, it signals that there is a reversal. And look at that. From this point on, you do the same thing if you want. Delete this one, and boom, now you see it broke this channel upwards. So if you bought here 123.99, you sold for 129, that's a good swing trade right there. This is in the same day. So we'll remove it again. So you combine this with, say, all these indicators, and you combine them with just some lines that you draw, and you don't need much other than that. And there you go. You can see whether this price will move up, will it move down, and say if it moves down, then by how much. Well, we can draw a retracement to the high, and we can see if it drops below this support line, we can see it fall all the way to 0.24 or 1.20, 124.50 and 123.50. It's really hard to read, but what you can do then is you put a short position, or you can put your puts if you want, whatever you use, and you can have half of them be sold here and half of them be sold here. And that way you're ensuring, first of all, you have a good risk reward, and you can make your reward even higher by selling at different levels, and by buying back at different levels. Let's see, Champ is here. If you guys have Discord Nitro, please consider boosting the server. It'll give you a nice roll, and we're all family here. We're all here to help you. You don't need to, but if you'd like to and support your friends here at Billions, then please do. Okay. 5:33. Anyone want to say anything? We have Tristan, Nomad, Sphinx. Who else is online? XRP is online, but I'm not sure if he's gonna join. So let's look at some headlines. That's also what I do after market. See what's been going on. Not this. The Dow surged 705 points because wanting normalcy is bullish. Okay. This isn't much. regard as pandemic risk. Okay. What's something important? Let's look at Gilead. Just as stock. Because look at this. 81 to 84, that's $3 a share. You know, you buy 10 of these, 30 bucks, easy. In the last, what is this, 247 to 4, so like 1 hour, easy money. Let's see. Here's another example. You can use a trend line. Draw it from here. Actually, this is a better example for a fib channel. Draw from here to here, pick a low, and boom, you can see this is a false breakout, and usually the way I confirm that is by using a MACD, and you can see it was strong up until here, and then at that point the momentum stopped, and even though the price kept going down, it's very weak momentum, and you can see that by the size of the candlesticks. And at this point, where the bars become 0, and right here, the moving average crosses, that's our reversal point, and also fueled by news. As soon as this upwards breakout happens, that's a confirmed breakout. See, we have 2 fully blue candles with little to no candlesticks and strong momentum on the MACD. We have weak downwards momentum, and then it kept going. And then at this point is a nice sell-off point, because here it's really volatile. And just the way I showed that it's volatile, you can pull up Bollinger Bands. And boom, you can see the cloud is pretty high. But the same idea that it's bouncing between the top and the bottom of the channels is a good day trade indicator. Clean that up. Okay. Looking at Boeing again. I don't really like Boeing. Said that last time, I'll say it again. I don't like Boeing. But you know, they make their money. Their stock price is booming in after hours yesterday. So, really, when we look at Boeing here, let's zoom out a bit. There's a huge gap up. And really, when you see a gap up like this of more than $10, that's when we can look at the futures. And that's not the wrong futures. I don't think it's gonna show me futures, will it? Yeah, it will. Anyway, TradingView is kind of pay to win like that. They want me to pay to make their software, their free software, that works fine without. And look, if I try to do like a 15-second upgrade now, yeah, that's. I'll try to make money like that, but really you don't need to. Let's see. Also, a good way to find out some opinions is you just go into these group chats on TradingView. And we'll look here. A nice wedge, what is this? XCM. Alright, this is not the same thing. Or Amazon. Okay. Amazon goes for $2,300, so I mean, that's why the volume is so low, because not many people have $2,300 to just throw at Amazon. So we'll look at a better 1 hour time frame. Ba-bam, woohoo, look at that. Look how clean that is. So now we don't have any small bars to look at, we just have a nice chart. And we have an overall uptrend, which I would like to draw, but where is the arrow? Overall uptrend. Let's make it thicker. And now we have an earnings report. Now let's actually look at Snap. this earnings report for Snap is tomorrow. I think it's the same time as Amazon. It just depends on if it's pre or post market. But let's look at it. So it used to trade for 1941. So let's just make a horizontal line. And right now we're trading for about half the difference between here and here. So with an earnings report, last time we had an earnings report, let's see, it was February 20th. Now this one, you can see as reported was minus 0.17, which means they had a 0.17% or 17%. Wait, is that right? Okay, don't take my word on this, but this is negative, okay? It's bad. But this was the earnings report that surprise factor of 0.02, 12.59%. Really just means this was surprisingly good. So if we had 12.98 and we're on the same thing here, and we had a nice climb just from 12.98 to almost $16, $15.36. That's a good swing trade. As a beginner, would you recommend look at a few 1 to 2 exchanges or various? So really, if you're looking at US stocks, you'll notice that if I just look at SPY, I remove all of these, and then I change it to the Dow Jones, you can see it looks almost exactly the same. So if you're looking at American exchanges, just use NASDAQ. So what I usually trade is Triple Q, and you'll see they all have, these are the same actually, but they all have the same pattern because that's most stocks in the US are linked, by the US citizens, and just the sentiment of the US citizens, when that changes, the whole stock market changes. It doesn't usually affect one sector or the other, but let's see, where is NASDAQ? So the NASDAQ is primarily tech-based, so when we have a good tech day, the NASDAQ will see higher gains than, say, the Dow Jones, which is the industrial sector. Billionaire hedge fund manager Paul Singer, wow. You do you, buddy. We may not see a bottom out, but right now we're seeing a good supply zone. Okay. So, right now I've got nothing left to talk about. It's 5:42. Again, if you want to say anything, you can have Sphinx in here. We have Noad and Tristan. Just go ahead and describe what you did today in terms of what kind of trades made. What thoughts on Walmart calls? So that's a question for Sphinx. Walmart. Just give it a bit of time because of the delay. Let's check how long the delay is. Yeah, it's pretty long, but it shouldn't matter that much. I can just talk to him here. Sphinx, are you still here? I don't know if he is. Can you look at Alibaba? Alibaba Group Holdings. So let's just look at today first. Wow. So really, when the market opens, I never trade because it's just much too volatile. So you can see it hit 214, dropped to 210, did 214 again, and then at this point we see a downtrend, followed by a bit of bounce in this channel, and then further downtrend, and then just a sell-off. So in terms of the long term, they're kind of following the same pattern as the SPY, just a bit worse for them, because actually, is it that bad for them? No, they're not they're actually doing better than they were in December 2019, which is kind of shocking actually. But you know, up to this point, it's gonna go up, and it's gonna sound like you're 23. I'm 15, buddy. But I don't know. I don't think I have that much of a deep voice. Alibaba. Let's see here. So it's on an uptrend, and really, if the market's on an uptrend, so is Alibaba. They're making money from this because now everyone is. They're getting everything online. They're not going in stores for anything. Internet retail is a good sector, you know, just for long-term investments. At the same time, like if you bought a few years ago, so like 1 year, like 150 to 230, that's a good investment right there. You almost double your money soon. The problem with Alibaba is it's the internet retail is also hit hard by any destructive events. So their stock dropped how much? 230 to 170, so $60 in the time frame of a few months. And if you're investing in Alibaba, you know your money's gonna return soon. But if you're putting your whole life savings on like one stock, never do that. Just never. Not a good idea. Always look at the earnings reports. You see here we had a good earnings report, especially this one. So if you bought in at this point and you saw they had a very good earnings report, so 156%, that's a huge climb right there. And a drop, pull back. So, you know, look at these candles. Compare that to these candles, which are, you know, following each other in their trails. And these candlesticks and these open and closed bars are huge, which means we're seeing much more volatility. And again, just draw these, and you can see a period of small volatility followed by another large cloud. And we can see here just huge volatility. So it's going to bounce probably between these channels. And then once you see this start to go for the downtrend, you would probably open up Bollinger Bands and see that it's going to start dropping between the bottom end of this bubble, of this cloud. So let's see. Any more questions coming in? Questions, comments, concerns, discrepancies, opinions? If not, I mean, if we're all done, might end the stream. I've got nothing left to talk about. Leave you guys on a good note here of this Netflix 422. Alright.